I finished reading Volume 3 of Run Wild and trigger warning for self unaliving being mentioned. This volume was also another really good one in the series. I've been enjoying the progression of Jung Chung and Gu Fei's relationship, and I'm so happy that they are now finally a couple. This volume started with Gu Fei and the local gang leader Monkey finally dealing with the brewing tension between them, and they decided to do that by jumping hurdles, which is basically them jumping from rooftop to rooftop while people are throwing things to try and trip them up, and it only ends when someone gets injured. Jung Chung, who has a fear of heights, decides to go and watch, and he uses a homemade slingshot and a bag of walnuts to try and stop Goofy from getting too injured. However, Goofy knows that things with Monkey won't end if he doesn't get hurt pretty seriously. In the end, things end with Gufei faking a bad leg injury. Jung Chung didn't know and was worried about Gufei, and he goes to check on Gufei and finds that other than some scrapes and bruises, he's actually okay, but he's just gonna have to fake a leg injury for a while. Jung Chung also asks Gufei if he has considered having a boyfriend before, and Gufei hesitates and tries to stall for a bit. He knows that he likes Jung Chung and for now would like to be in a romantic relationship with him. However, he does wonder if Jung Chung is possibly being impulsive in this moment, or if it's just the timing that makes it seem impulsive. He also wonders what Jung Chung is expecting from a boyfriend and from a relationship. Jung Chung tells Gufei to sleep on it and that he's gonna go back to his place to sleep and to call him when Gufei wakes up the next morning. And the next morning, Jung Chung wakes up to his phone ringing for the second time because Gufei is calling him. As soon as he picks up the phone, Gufei asks him, "Did you want to be with me or did you want to be in a relationship with me?" Jung Chun asks him if there's a difference and tells Gufei that he likes him. And as Jung Chung is talking, Gufei interrupts him to tell him to go downstairs because Gufei is outside of his apartment building. And Gufei tells Jung Chung to come downstairs so that they can have breakfast together and calls Jung Chung his boyfriend. I really do love these two together, and I think that they have great chemistry. And they really do seem so happy when they are together, especially with everything that they are currently going through. Even though Jung Chung has moved out on his own, he still has to deal with his biological father. Jung Chung had already suspected that his bio dad is sick, but it's confirmed in this one that he actually is sick and he is dying. And he probably only has a few months left to live. And things boil over to the point to where his biological dad unalives himself. And while all this is happening in the aftermath of everything, Gufei is there for Jung Chung, and I really liked reading about that and seeing them together and seeing him try to help Jung Chung through it because they both admit that they're not that good at comforting people. But I do really like that they try to be there for each other whenever one of them is going through something. Also, the more that I read about his adoptive parents, the more I don't like them. For all of Jung Chung's past birthdays, he wasn't allowed to hang out with his friends. He was only with his adoptive family, and he wasn't allowed to have cake. And they would just berate him about all the things that he has done wrong and his inadequacies. So I really like that for his 18th birthday, he spends it with Gufei, and that they both seem to have a really good time hanging out together. Gufei's birthday is about a month later, but they decided that they were going to celebrate both of their birthdays together, and they decided to do that on Jung Chung's birthday. I just really love reading the relationship that these two have. This is such a good story. I'm currently reading volume 4, and I'm so glad that I have volume 5. I also kind of wish that volume 6 was already out so I can just read the last 3 volumes together. The series is so good so far, and I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend it if you haven't read it yet. Or if you had read it, maybe coming across this video is your sign to reread it because it's such a great story.